What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is TheUzigunner, bringing you all my Week 10 of the World Battle Entertainment, where I'm going to be going up against none other than Mewtwo fan Nate, who is the coach of the New York Noibats. Now, first things first, I just want to quickly apologize, guys, for, taking so long to upload this. Unfortunately, myself and Nate couldn't necessarily arrange a proper time, mainly due to time difference. And at the same time, him and a couple of WBE coaches going to Worlds. He did definitely, offer the match to happen much more sooner before he went there. But regrettably, I was not ready to face him during then. So we kind of had to delay the whole match itself, and for that I just want to quickly apologize, guys. But you know what? I'm going to try to make sure that all these other matches that I have are uploaded in a timely fashion. So, yeah. Now, Nate here is someone who I was actually supposed to face 2 years back in a league known as the NPCC. But unfortunately, that ended up coming to pass because he was moving during then, and in the end, I had to take a forfeit victory. So to finally face him now is something I'm very much looking forward to. So yeah, may the best man win. So as far as the team matchup goes, you should be able to see that here and now. And just from team preview alone, it is as clear as day that Cloyster and his Lucario give me a very hard time. Like, Lucario is a Pokemon that I have very loose answers to begin with, in the form of my Tapu Fini, to some extent my Arcanine, and my Amoonguss. And while Arcanine is definitely a plausible answer to physical Lucario, the fact of the matter is it really comes down to a lot of factors, really, and I genuinely need to keep this thing healthy no matter what. So yeah, and Cloyster is a Pokemon that automatically is a massive threat against me. When you consider the fact that I don't necessarily have any steel types, it isn't necessarily a good omen for yours truly. And unless I play my cards right, this thing can legitimately just set up one Shell Smash and just sweep my team then and there. So I genuinely need to play my cards right and make sure I keep certain Pokemon healthy no matter what, and make sure that certain conditions are met to make sure that outcome doesn't come to pass. So yeah. So let me just show you guys what I got first here and now. First things first, we got our Ferdinand, which is my leftovers bulky Arcanine with Flamethrower, Toxic, Morning Sun, and Snarl. Now this Pokemon in particular is pretty useful, I guess you could say, because this kinda accounts for any conceivable Lucario variant, whether it be Swords Dance or, Nasty Plot. I can actually take any hit just fine, and Flamethrower is guaranteed 110% to knock him out. That's why I have this investment to begin with, and what this investment also does is ensure the fact that Cloyster is not going to be able to live a Flamethrower, especially after Stealth Rocks, and that is even if it does happen to have some form of HP investment in it. So yeah, this set is kind of crucial in the sense that it kind of puts a stop to pretty much his Lucario and also to some extent his special Pokemon. And if I'm able to, land a Toxic on Pokemon on certain number of his pocket monsters, I don't know why I'm saying that word, such as his Slowking and pretty much anything else really, this thing is guaranteed to put in a lot of pressure on him. And yeah, I just gotta play my cards right, really. So yeah, next up we got Yowie Wowie, which is my Choice Scarf Rotom Frost, making its debut in the World Battle Entertainment with Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Blizzard, and Will-O-Wisp. Now this thing is a very useful asset against Nate's squad, because when you look at his squad, he doesn't necessarily have the best conceivable answers to this thing other than Sylveon, which can get whittled down over time because I definitely have all the assets to make sure I achieve such an outcome. And while you could definitely say that, he does have Pokemon like his Mega Steelix and so on to make sure that, I hesitate when clicking moves like Volt Switch or, just going for Blizzard, especially when that latter is like 70% accurate. The fact of the matter is this puts in immense pressure against him. It takes out pretty much all of his, offensive Pokemon that apply a lot of pressure against me. And at the same time, it is, I can make sure, it's bulky enough to take some hits here and there, So that's pretty much where I'm at with this. The speed investment is here to pretty much ensure that I outspeed, Timid, Max Speed, Thundurus Incarnate. And yeah. Next up we got Raphael, which is my Groundium Z Rhyperior with Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Stone Edge, and Swords Dance. Now this is a pretty useful asset against Nate's squad, because when you consider the fact that, his best answer to this is his Go-Goat, which I genuinely don't see coming in against me. This thing is pretty much here to just break his defensive prowess, and at the same time, you know, get up rocks too while it's at it. And ground Nimsy is very useful here because on the off chance, you know, his Steelix wants to stay in on me, I can punish him by going for, you know, a ground Nimsy Earthquake, and through the damage output that I'm able to achieve out from it. While I definitely will not be able to knock this thing out, what I will be able to do is put this thing in range for my Mega Aerodactyl. And that's pretty much where I'm at with this spread, and with this investment you see before you, I'm pretty much guaranteed to outspeed Pokemon like Dusknoir without any sort of speed investment whatsoever, and a few other Pokemon that I can't remember off the top of my head really. So, one thing's for sure though, this thing is definitely a very solid asset, and yeah, hopefully I play my cards right with this thing. So yeah, next up we got our Payapa Berry Wolf's Art, which is my Amoonguss, with a pretty unique spread, I guess you could say, with Clear Smog, Hidden Power Fighting Spore, and Sludge Bomb. Now this investment you see before you is pretty heat, I guess you could say, because what this does is it ensures the fact that Pokemon like his Thundurus Incarnate have a very strong probability of getting to it KO'd, and if Stealth Rocks are up on his side of the field, it is a guarantee, 110%. And it also ensures that, you know, Lucario gets two-shotted by HP Fighting, and yeah, like this is pretty much here to put a stop to like Sylveon, and pretty much, you know, put a lot of hurting on his side. And this also just outright Okos a Swallow after Stealth Rock, so like if it tries to come in on my face, so that's actually pretty damn awesome. And yeah, shout out to Zazo for this spread, by the way. Like, I was really conflicted when coming up with the ideal set for this thing, and yeah, he came through for me. So for the last two Pokemon, we have our Primrose, which is my Tapu Fini, rocking the Taunt, Nature's Madness, Moonblast, and Defog with pretty much the same set that I brought from last week, with the exception being that, you know, I'm investing much more in defense this time around, because in doing so, Pokemon like his Cloyster will definitely not be able to knock me out with a +2, you know, +2 Rock Blast. Like, it is a 2-hit KO at best, and at the same time, I actually live a +2 Natural Gift Grass if he choose to bring this in against me. And the investment that you see before you here, it also pretty much ensures the fact that it will definitely die to a Moonblast, especially after Stealth Rock. So, yeah, this is pretty much my best answer that I could possibly have for that Cloyster of his. So, I'm definitely gonna need to keep this thing around no matter what. So, last but not least, we got the Fiend, which is my Mega Aerodactyl, rocking the Stone Edge, Earthquake, Roost, and Crunch. And this set is something that I personally came up with myself. And what this set does is pretty much ensures the fact that no Swallow variant that he could possibly have will be able to beat this thing 1v1, whether it be Flame Orb's Guts Facade, or, you know, Specs Modest Boom Burst. This thing is guaranteed to, you know, like, get 3-hit KO'd by both variants, in which case I'll be able to, you know, pretty much be able to wall this thing comfortably. And while you could definitely say that, you know, like, Timid or Jolly Swallow will be able to outspeed this thing, the fact is he won't necessarily know that, and will, like, on most occasions opt to get the hell out of here. So in that regard, this is pretty useful. And yeah, the speed investment here just ensures that I outspeed Timid, Max Speed, Thundurus Incarnate. And Adamant is really nice here because it just pretty much obliterates the majority of his squad, crunches a 2-hit KO on that Slow King of his, and provided I'm able to knock out that Steelix of his, this thing could just very easily, might I add, just sweep his team. Like, yeah, his responses to Mega Aerodactyl aren't necessarily the best, provided I play my cards right to get rid of his best answer. So, yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it for this team, guys. Hope you all enjoyed, and with that being said, let us move on into the game. Alright guys, we are back right now, and as you can see, this is what my boy Nate brought against me, and just from team preview alone, I am so surprised to see absolutely no Thundurus Incarnate or Cloyster from his end, because if anything, I thought that any one of these two Pokemon would be a sure bring from his end. But otherwise, I kind of expected the majority of his mons, really, other than his Dusknoir, which I very much thought had absolutely no place here. But yeah, to see neither of these two Pokemon come for this match is a massive sigh of relief for yours truly, and definitely helps me a lot in, you know, just executing my plan as to the best of my abilities. Now, As far as leads go, I figured that my best one would easily be my Rhyperior because while Rotom Frost matches up very well against the vast majority of his squad, the problem is that if he chooses to lead off with his Steelix and gets up rocks on my face for free, that will be kind of bad for yours truly because, yeah, I have 3 Pokemon that absolutely detest coming in on them, so in the end, I figured that Rhyperior would be my best one because should he choose to stay in and be on the receiving end of a ground EMZ, that makes my Mega Aerodactyl's job much more easier. So yeah, let's see how this match goes as I'm going to be challenged by Pokemon Trainer Nate. As out comes my Raphael, which is my Rhyperior. He chooses to lead off with his Hydreigon, and turn 1, I have absolutely no place here. I'm gonna get my butt on out of here and go straight out into my Primrose, which is my primary switch-in to this 3-headed monster. As he chooses to go straight for Focus Blast, which definitely left me surprised because I genuinely thought that he wouldn't have that move for this match, but it's whatever. Now, here I'm going to actually scout to see whether he does have the Z-Belch or not, because in case you guys don't know, that actually goes my Tapu Fini. So, yeah. He instead chooses to stay in and go straight for a Charge Beam, which left me surprised because that doesn't even come close towards knocking me out. But it's whatever really, as, yeah, I'm going to go out in my Amoonguss expecting him to go for a Charge Beam again or something along those lines. I'm going to take that just fine as I'm kind of in no position whatsoever to you know, make a prediction. So I'm just going to go for a Spore since that was my free play. But you know what, he goes straight out into his Steelix like a smart man, and yeah, that kind of puts me in the back pedal a bit. So, yeah, I'm gonna just go out in my Rhyperior expecting him to set up his rocks really because he loses absolutely nothing by doing that. But instead, he chooses to go straight for a Curse, which definitely was something I did not expect at all going into this match. But honestly speaking, this is fine because what this does mean is that A, Stealth Rocks are not on my side of the field, and B, I can set up a Swords Dance with, you know, whilst being ensured by the fact that Earthquake will not even be able to come remotely close towards knocking me out. So, yeah, thankfully he's not going to be able to snag a crit on me, and I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to pop my Z move off here and now, and you are going to see this Tectonic Rage come for the first time on this channel, and that Mega Steelix has no prayer in the world because despite him being at +1 defense, I'm a +2 Rhyperior, +2 Adamant Rhyperior with a Tectonic Rage. So yeah, he's obviously not going to live that. So with his Mega Steelix gone, Mega Aerodactyl's job just became so much more easier, it's not even funny. So yeah, here I'm going to opt to go straight out in my Amoonguss because I'm not really sure what he wants to do really. I can take any hit just fine from his end. So yeah, and it is here at this point that I'm going to pivot into my Tapu Fini expecting him to, you know, go for a Z Draco or any other move really. But he shows that his last move is a Flamethrower, which is definitely something that I'm very happy to know because now I have, you know, my ways of playing around this thing. So, yeah. Here I'm just going to opt to go for a Moonblast because, yeah, I lose absolutely nothing by doing so. He's already shown his 4 moves, so it's fine, really. And here, I'm just gonna opt to go straight for a ton, and this is pretty awesome because, yeah, my Tapu Fini just makes his defensive core's life an absolute living hell, and when Steelix is gone, yeah, there's nothing stopping me from doing whatever I want, really. So, yeah, I'm gonna go straight for Nature's Madness here and now. That's going to do a decent chunk of damage to this thing as he does opt to go straight for a Psychic, which is obviously going to do piss poor damage. And here, expecting him to not want to stay in, I'm going to opt to go straight for a Nature's Madness because, yeah, like, I lose absolutely nothing by doing that as he does opt to go out into Sylveon, and this is the absolute best case scenario for me because he, with his defensive core being whittled down, Mega Aerodactyl just pretty much outright goes ham on him, so, yeah. Now here I expect him to, you know, expect me to go for a taunt or something, but here he just stays in and goes straight for a Calm Mind, which definitely left me rather surprised. I didn't expect him to do that, but it's whatever really. Like, the main reason I switched out my Fini in the first place was because, like, I needed this thing healthy for his Hydreigon, and I didn't necessarily like the idea of him going for a Hyper Voice on me. But yeah, he's going to reveal the substitute now, and my idiotic self chose to go straight for a Spore instead of a Sludge Bomb, which is kind of bad because now this thing is at +2 and behind a substitute. So I'm gonna go for Sludge Bomb, praying that it breaks his sub, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to achieve just that, and this is pretty bad because what this does mean is that I need to find a way to knock out, you know, first of all, make sure that this thing isn't behind a sub anymore, but at the same time, I need to get rid of all those stat boosts, because if I don't, I have a very strong likelihood of just outright losing her now. So yeah, this is kind of unfortunate, as I'm just gonna opt to stay in and go for another Sludge Bomb, thinking that I got a low roll last time. As what do you know, this time I'm actually gonna be able to break the substitute, which is pretty nice, I guess you could say, but at the same time, it just, you know, doesn't necessarily help me a lot in the grand scheme of things, really. But yeah, here expecting him to, you know, just outright go for a substitute again. I'm going to opt to go out into my Tapu Fini, and it is at this point that I realize that I'm gonna have to sack this thing off, which kind of sucks. Because, yeah, otherwise I just outright get swept by the Sylveon set. So, yeah. He is going to set up another substitute again, which is honestly fine by me, really, because there's nothing stopping me from going for Nature's Madness here. Thankfully, I'm going to be able to break the substitute of this absolute monster, as he chooses to go straight for a Hyper Voice, and that is going to be a guaranteed 2-hit KO on me, especially when you consider the fact that this thing is at +2. So, yeah. Trying to ensure the fact that he doesn't necessarily, you know, get any chance to set up a substitute again, I'm just gonna opt to go for a taunt. And this is where I kind of regret just, you know, switching out my Fini in the first place, because had I chosen to not done such a thing, I wouldn't have lost my, you know, main Hydreigon answer to begin with. So yeah, in the end I ended up getting paranoid for no reason, and that kind of cost me one of my Pokemon, which kind of sucks. But honestly speaking, this is fine, because there's really nothing stopping me from going for a Clear Smog here now, and this is immediately going to just outright stop this thing's chance of, you know, getting a sweep on me, which is good, you know. But yeah. Anyways, here I'm going to opt to go straight for a Sludge Bomb here now, considering the fact that I lose absolutely nothing by going for that. He is going to go out into his Dusknoir, which is his primary switch into this thing, I assume. And the Misty Surge is going to fade away here and now, so yeah, that's pretty nice, as I'm going to opt to go out in my Arcanine, not really sure what this thing wants, like, not necessarily knowing what this thing could want to go for, per se. But here he reveals that he has the curse and cuts over half of his own HP, and this is kind of bad, because I definitely cannot stay in with my Arcanine. This is my main answer to his Lucario, and if I allow this thing to get whittled down, Lucario just outright cleans house against me. So yeah, here he's going to reveal his Pain Split, which is a very nice tech from his end, I guess you could say. Definitely something I did not expect going into this match, so yeah, good on him. As here, I'm going to opt to just outright go for a Thunderbolt, thinking that I would, you know, be able to 2-hit KO on any of his Pokemon, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to account for the fact that his Sylveon was much more healthier, so yeah. Now, here it was a 50-50 for him, considering the fact that he doesn't have Wish and Protect, but I'm gonna make the safe play by going out in my Amoonguss, as he doesn't choose to go for, you know, Wish in the end, which is a massive relief from my end. And here, there is absolutely nothing stopping me from going for a Sludge Bomb. I figured that would be my best play, really, as, yeah, out comes his Lucario, and I'm not gonna let this thing set up for free. No matter what, I will make sure that this thing gets whittled down for my Arcanine, as I'm just gonna stay in and go for hidden power fighting. He chooses to go out into Slowking, expecting me to go hard out into my Arcanine, which I'm obviously not gonna do, as his overprediction is gonna cost him, as now I'm gonna be able to put this thing to sleep. And this is pretty awesome, because now I'm essentially in the driver's seat. Now, expecting him to pull a Hard Switch out into any of his Pokemon, I figured that my Choice Scarf my Rotom Frost would be my best switch in, as he is gonna opt to go out into his Hydreigon, and this is pretty awesome, because now I'm gonna make a big boy play. I'm gonna go straight for a Blizzard, and this is a guaranteed 2-hit KO on his Sylveon, and you know what? I'm gonna stay in. I'm gonna go for another Blizzard, and I will be able to hit that move, which is so crazy on so many levels, because this move is 70% accurate. So yeah, Yowie Wowie is gonna be able to just land 2 Blizzards in a row like it's nobody's business, and get rid of pretty much his only Pokemon remaining that could actually, you know, stand up to my Mega Aerodactyl somewhat. So yeah. Here I'm going to opt to go out in my Raphael, which I figured would be my best switch in if he chose to go for, you know, like Pain Split or anything along those lines. And seeing that Shadow Sting doesn't do any damage to me, I'm just gonna choose to go straight for Stealth Rocks on his side of the field right now, just to make sure that everything is in range, per se. And here he chooses to knock me out by choosing to go for a Curse, which, while is definitely something that's kind of unfortunate, as I just lost another Pokemon, is really bad for him, because he has essentially put himself in range for my Mega Aerodactyl. And considering the remainder of his Pokemon, he can just outright get cleaned up here and now. So yeah, thinking that this would be my perfect opportunity, I'm just gonna Mega Evolve with the Fiend and go straight for a Crunch, and Ghost Freak is gonna bite the dust here and now, as now his only 3 Pokemon remaining would be his Hydreigon, Lucario, and his Slowking, all of which do not appreciate taking this thing on. So, you know what? I'm gonna stay in. I'm gonna go for Stone Edge, and he chooses to go for Charge Beam, and while he definitely will be able to get the boost, that doesn't even come remotely close towards knocking me out, and with the next Stone Edge that I'm able to hit, surprisingly enough, down goes the Hydreigon, and his only 2 Pokemon remaining would have to be his Lucario and his Slowking. So here, I'm honestly speaking just gonna go straight for an Earthquake, because I am not going to let this thing set up a Swords Dance on my face for free, as he does, as I assume he did try to do just that. And his only Pokemon remaining would have to be his Mega Aerodactyl, his Slowking, and with these 2 crunches you're about to see right now, he is a dead man walking. I don't know why I just said dead so awkwardly, but yeah. One more crunch is gonna come off here and now, and just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we are able to come out with a 4-0 victory. So yeah, honestly speaking, this match was definitely a roller coaster of emotions, I guess you could say. Like, while I would say that I definitely was on the driver's seat for the majority of this match, like, this match could have gone either way, especially if a Sylveon, you know, was able to do what it initially was supposed to do. And honestly speaking, other than, you know, the way I played with my Tapu Fini, which I figured was, you know, which I initially did just to ensure the fact that, you know, Hydreigon isn't able to be a massive threat against me. In the end, it ended up costing me and could have, you know, been a massive detriment for me because, like, yeah, with my Tapu Fini gone, Hydreigon just outright goes in on my squad, and the only reason I was able to, you know, weather such a storm is because I made the plays that I did to make sure that it wasn't able to do whatever it wanted, really. But otherwise, this was a solid game through and through. GG to my boy Nate. Like, I definitely did not expect him to bring, you know, Curse, Pain Split, Dusknoir. Like, oh my gosh, that was a massive hit, my dude. But yeah, with this being said, the Bullet Punch Club is now 4-6 right now with a -5 differential, almost there to a positive differential, guys. But yeah, next week we are going to be taking on Jodar, who is definitely someone who I'm not underestimating by any means, because he can definitely go if he plays his cards right, and the matchup is honestly kind of awkward, really. Like, he does have threats that I need to carefully prep for, but honestly speaking, if I play my cards right, I believe I will be able to get the job done. So yeah, with that being said, my friends, that concludes the Week 10 of the World Battle Entertainment. I will see you all in hopefully 3 days or in 2 days' time when I upload my match against Joe. And with that being said, my name is TheUzigunner. Thank you very much for watching. Have yourselves a glorious day, and I'll see you all on the flip side. Peace!